Welcome everybody back to, oh my goodness, that was horrible. Welcome back everybody to the Washed Up Podcast. We're keeping that in because we're 100% truthful with you. Not always. Today's guest has written and directed multiple short films, most recent of which, Arenda, was nominated for multiple film festivals from LA to Paris. With his first feature film on the way, we'd like to welcome Dahson Arave to the
Yeah.
podcast. There we
Yep,
go.
Dahson Arave. What's up, man? What's up?
Welcome. It's nice to have you. How's your day been?
Oh, it's been busy, man. When you have all this film stuff going on, and then you have a 1-year-old at home, this is kind of what life looks like. Busy.
Yeah, I can imagine that's a lot. I actually had no clue that you had a 1-year-old. That makes this so much more impressive on top of all of this already. That's wow.
And you know what? I give all the credit though to my lady. My lady, she is the best mom I could possibly ask for my son, and so I honestly couldn't be doing it without her. So that's a lot of credit due to her, not just me.
That's actually awesome. It's good to see that like she's supportive of like the film stuff because I feel like a lot of people can't understand the vision sometimes.
Oh,
So
she's
it's good
actually a
that
producer, man.
is she really?
Yeah, dude, she's
That's
a rock
She's a
awesome.
star.
producer.
That
Yeah.
wow. Dude, you
Yep,
got the
she's a
Power
producer in
family
this
over there.
film.
That is awesome. On the topic of that film, I actually do have a few questions just to start off the episode. You have your upcoming film is called Three Left Turns, right?
Correct.
And then if you could give us just a brief explanation, like of what you can about the story, just for the people at home that maybe have never heard of it or just it's been a little bit since the last episode.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so Three Left Turns is about two young drug dealers who are about, or they're their age of high schoolers. However, you'll have to see that they aren't in high school, and the reason being, and then a serial killer and a drug kingpin. That's about all we can say, other than obviously a series of events occur that lead those two young men down the path with both the eyes of the kingpin and the killer watching them, right? So that's all we can say as of right now. Over the summer, because we don't know if anybody knows this Kickstarter. We have a Kickstarter page that's going up right now where people can go check it out even more. It's already reached our goal. And so, anyways, this summer people will start finding out even more. So if you want to follow along and kind of enticed about, two young drug dealers encountering a kingpin and a serial killer, go follow along on Kickstarter, and then you'll be getting some more information as the year progresses.
You got 5 more days to donate.
That's
5 more
true.
days.
Yep.
You guys set a goal of 10,000 for
13.
this 13, but
Yes,
you guys
13,000.
smashed that and you're at almost 20,000 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we're actually realistically looking at certain numbers. We are at 22,000. We're at 19,300 on Kickstarter, and then we have some more funds, about $3,000 in funds that will not be going into Kickstarter, just due to certain reasons. But yeah, we're up to 22,000 and counting as far as total budget that we have raised just off of Kickstarter.
How do you plan on applying that? Because obviously your previous films have been no budget. So going from no budget to having like 23,000 to work with, where do you plan on putting that? What parts of the production quality can we expect to see like really big upgrades in?
Yeah, so I think with as far as Arenda, the last one that you kind of mentioned on in the intro, I thought cinematography wise, it was stunning. Um, Acting, storyline, I thought it was all pretty solid. However, our audio was our weak spot. And so, with that said, that's where a decent amount of money will be going is to a professional audio technician with all the gadgets obviously needed to accomplish what we're needing as far as sound. And then obviously with equipment, we're going to be getting just night and day better equipment than what we had filming Orenda. We'll have everything not only with this amount of money that we want and need. It's also some luxury items that we'll be getting as well. I'm really excited because we're going to be shooting in a camera that I've been really looking forward to. It's called the Ari or Ari Lexa Mini LF.
Oh,
I'm
no
very
way.
excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
That is awesome.
that's the camera we'll be shooting on for this. We shot on the Ari with a Renda, although it was a pretty older camera. It was an Ari Amira. It's still a good camera,
Mm.
but obviously with no budget and everything, it wasn't in the best of shape. However, yeah, I just we're super excited. That's probably the biggest thing is I would say the quality will look a lot better as far as cinematography will even improve from Orenda, even though I thought it was already good. But the biggest improvement should be the sound.
That's awesome. I'm really excited from like just what I've heard looking at the Kickstarter, you know, talking to Dead Fox. It's I'm super excited. I think I don't know, I'm more excited for this than a lot of the Netflix originals that are coming out this year. I'm going to be honest. They're looking a little they're looking a little rough.
We definitely
Hey, man,
appreciate it.
it's original content, baby. It's the Netflix is sometimes as much as I love a lot of their shows and series, a lot of it is rinse and repeat. So
Yeah.
it's original content. That's why you can see the genuine nature in which we're posting about it on Kickstarter, which everybody should go and check out again. Nice little plug.
Where can people find a link to that Kickstarter? We'll put a link to it down below in the description on YouTube and Spotify. But if for some reason you can't find that, where else can people go to get a link to that Kickstarter?
Yeah, people can go check out Marlon Dean Instagram or Marlon Dean Facebook, or you can even check out my Instagram, Dahson Arave, and there's a link in the bio. So you can just go to Marlon Dean Productions Instagram. You can also go to marlondeanproductions.com in the Kickstarter links on our website as well. So
And if people end up donating, what are some perks that they could see from that? I know that $1 is just to kind of support, but it can go all the way up to getting your name in the credits, right?
yeah, so $1, like you said, name it or not name. It's just to support. $10, that's what you're looking at for just getting the premiere ticket. However, we are doing this deal where with the $10 ticket, you could also get a digital viewing if you can't show up to the in-person premiere. We're obviously we're suggesting or really just pushing towards people wanting to come to the in-person just because of how awesome the event's going to be, but we will be giving them like a one-time digital viewing that same night, which is October 13th of this year. And then the $25 package or pledge that you do that's the name and credits that you're talking about. So you get your name and credits plus that premiere ticket. $50 is both those things I just listed. Plus you get to go to the after party with the cast and crew. Dead Fox, he'll be there. So if people that are listening in and want to come check him out, but yeah, a whole cast and crew will be there. You guys can come hang out with us and enjoy a nice night in Salt Lake City and have a good party right after seeing a really, really good film. And then $100 package is all those things I just listed on top of getting the merch bag. The merch bag is going to include a Marlon D Productions hoodie / 3 left turns, Marlon D Productions snapback hat, wristband, and a signed poster of 3 left turns from the whole cast and crew. And that's what the $100 package is. And that's all the packages that we offer on Kickstarter. But yeah, again, it's a pledge. You only have 5 more days. And just so people know, because this has been a confusion, the money doesn't get taken out right away. So if everybody's like, oh, I really want to do it, I may not get paid or this and that, it doesn't get taken out till after the 22nd. So it wouldn't be till probably the 23rd on a Thursday, 24th Friday, which I know some people get paid on those days. So if people are really interested in going and supporting us, just know it doesn't take out right away. But yeah, that's kind of what the rewards you can get for giving back to us and supporting us.
That honestly, those are some. I mean, that merch bag sounds pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I might need to. I might need to get that. I might need to see about getting that merch bag on the by donating to the Kickstarter. But anybody at home, if you're in the Utah area, definitely see if you can come to the screening, come to the after party if you can. I will try to be there. Dead Fox will be there. All of these guys are just awesome, awesome people. They're definitely fun to be around, talk to. They're just these are, you know, probably the last surviving, you know, group of people that are in it for passion, not money. I think a lot of these short film groups and production teams are, just a little bit better than your standard Marvel studio. So definitely support if you can, so you don't have to watch the same movie regurgitated every year multiple times into TV show form. Arenda, the show, coming to Disney Plus
Oh,
soon.
no, don't even
I'm just
start.
kidding.
Ain't no way.
Speaking of Arenda, I actually have a lot of questions about that. I watched that recently, and your writing is just amazing. Like, I assume your writing is going to be just on par, even better for this next film. But just for Arenda, it was beautiful. If for 30 minutes, there's so many things that like I could sit there and pick apart and look into, and I think that's crazy. Where did the entire idea for Arenda come from? Did it just kind of happen one day, or did you sit down and you were just like, okay, let's come up with a film idea?
You know what? The way that I write, and I've been writing for this year will be 5 years, and I've wrote all over the place, and New Mexico and California, here in Utah, and I got to write for some people that I won't list names for. So I've wrote a lot for how young I am, and so my process is weird, man. My process is weird. I'm not gonna lie. I listen to score music. I absolutely love scores of films. I love Hans Zimmer, Johann Johansson, Alan Silvestri, Sakamoto. I could go on. I love that kind of music, and so I listen to that music, and a lot of times things just pop up, and it's not like the whole film of Arenda kind of comes to me or nothing like that. It comes in a very small it comes in a small package, and then I kind of just unravel it once because I get intrigued by it. So like for Arenda, for example, I was really interested about two things. I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast, and I remember listening about like aliens, and like then I
Yeah.
listened to another podcast, and it was talking about like creatures like the Native Americans and stuff believed. And then I also wanted to after No Country for Love talk about brothers. And so, funny enough, like it just clicked as I was listening to the score one day, and I was like, "What the like? That could work." Like these two brothers that are living on their own. I don't know why. I didn't know why they were living on their own yet. I didn't know. I don't want to ruin it for the people that haven't seen it, but I didn't know why they weren't living or they were living on their own. But living on their own out in the wilderness, and whatever you think it is, whether it's a creature like Native American tribes believed, or an alien, or a ghost, or in the minds of the people, right? Whatever you believe it is what it is. And yeah, I kind of just ran with that. Obviously, I built it up more than what I'm kind of saying right now. But that's kind of how the process goes. As far as writing, I have like something that I'm really interested in, because I write for films that I want to go watch. I'm not writing to please people. If you like it, that's awesome. But ultimately, I want to make a film, and I want to continue to make films that are something that I would want to go see in theaters. So
Yeah.
Arenda was a film that I would be super intrigued about. These two country brothers that have a loss, and they're living on their own, and their relationship is kind of going south and has been for a while now. You kind of have that goofy friend that's kind of keeping the younger brother spirit alive, and some things go south after these boys run into something out in the woods. And yeah, as far as that, it's just something that I would want to watch. Same with obviously we'll go into Three Left Turns later. But it's just films ultimately that I would want to watch, and thankfully Dead Fox and Dominic, our cinematographer, Bastion, my brother, who plays my brother in the film, is actually my brother in real life.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then Tyler, our composer, and then I could keep going on, but thankfully all these guys believe in me, and they enjoy the script as much as I do. And yeah, that's kind of the writing process as far as what Arenda was.
Hopefully we can have some of the other cast and crew on the podcast as well, just to kind of keep up with you guys, because I cannot lie. I don't know if it's just because my friend is working on it as well, but just in general, like I am just obsessed with keeping up with you guys because like just as like I try to do cinematography on my own, I love short film stuff like that. It's just like I just don't have the I guess I just don't really have the I never really go through with the ideas. So it's just nice to see you guys like, like you're coming up with these ideas, you're having fun, you're like you're just like you're keeping film a little bit less corporate, a little bit
Right.
less big time, more of a it's just good to root for the local people. So if you're from Utah or even just from the world, root for the local guys.
If you're from Earth, right? Now, if you're an
Root
alien, don't even
for
start.
So you play.
No, I think I really enjoy that what you're saying though. Just sorry to interrupt, but I really
No, you're
enjoy. I
good.
think I was on a podcast that I'm gonna plug him in as well because he's
Of course.
outstanding. Cultworthy podcast. He's a local and around Salt Lake area. But I love what he says, and I'm not saying it because he's giving us a compliment, but it's because I actually believe it, and I strive for Marlon Bean Productions to give that vibe off to everybody because that's how we truly are. We're genuine people. We're real as crap. Like we're not. Can I swear on here?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so
Yeah, you're
we're
good.
real, man. We're real, and I think people can see that. Like you can see that I'm not like this facade that I'm just like in it for making money. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people wouldn't picture me as a person that does film and art. Like if you know me personally, like Dead Fox does, like I'm just not the typical person as far as what the film industry would say. And I think a lot of the guys in our group are the same way. But I think that's what makes us so genuine, and you can feel it while you're watching
You're okay.
a renda,
Yeah.
while you're watching a renda, or while you're on our social media, or you're just talking to us right now. I think that's just because you can see that we're genuine. We're not like a lot of these TikTok people now, and it's just this new age where I go on and I watch these like young actors or like these TikTokers that are wanting to do stuff, and
Dead Fox.
you can just
fucking loser TikTok.
like Dead Fox, man.
Okay, well, fuck you guys.
You can see the fakeness right when Dead Fox starts
All right,
speaking.
I'm
Yeah,
out.
I know. Yeah.
If you watch his mouth move, it's just you can see it's all fake. Look,
You
he's not
can't even see his mouth. Yeah, exactly. It's just not
No,
even
but-
there.
This
But
fucking
seriously,
guy.
I think you guys can just see it, and I think that's what we really pride ourselves on. Obviously, once we get bigger and bigger, as it's inevitable, people are going to hate, but I love it. We always talk about this. Once you start getting haters, that means that you're actually big enough. So it's big enough where you have people that also care. So right now, that's our biggest thing, is just letting you guys know that we're genuine people. We're not trying to be fake. We're not trying to be role models. I really like what this guy says. He says role models are two fake things, right? I'm completely for being somebody that kids look up to in the future, to just grab a camera and start filming like how we did. But as far as being a role model, we're not. We're not role models. That's two fake things. A role and a model. Those are both things that aren't genuine. And I think you can tell that we're all not. And so, yeah, man, sorry to interrupt. That's just something I'm actually really passionate
No, you're
about.
okay. I'm actually really happy you
Oh.
said that, honestly. That was well said. I think I've never heard somebody say that role model saying before. That's actually
Yeah,
that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually taking it from a dude. I don't know where he got it from, but it's a UFC fighter that I love as well. But I mean, the UFC, those people are as real as they can get, so it makes sense why it's coming from somebody like him. But yeah, no, it's something that I also believe as well. I think role models are. I think that's just, it's all fake. It's something that the Hollywood, you can say, pushes for actors and stuff like that. And I think like people like Dead Fox and stuff, those are people that to look up to. It's not a role model, right? It's somebody that you can look up to and try to follow in similar footsteps, but ultimately be your own man or your own woman.
Well said. Honestly, wow, dude, you came on here just ready to spit facts, huh? Like, just went and sat in a philosophy room for a little bit, just did nothing but think
Yeah,
about thinking.
I almost just exited right there. I almost just ended the call right
Yeah.
after. I said
That's
that.
it. That's all you needed to say.
That's all you need. That's all I want to say. Watch the next movie. So you played you just mentioned earlier you played the character Thomas or Tommy in
Yep.
Arenda, who is the younger brother, right?
Correct.
Were you nervous going into it where you're like, this is my writing, I'm not sure if I can play this character like up to like as somebody else can, like I can't fit it? Or were you just kind of like, no, like I wrote this character, I can do this, like this is me, if I
You
don't
know
know if
what's
that makes any
funny?
sense, but
No, it does. No, it does. And it's funny because I'm laughing right now because this is what I say to all the other actors. I believed wholeheartedly I could play that role. The biggest thing is when I say this to every single actor that comes on, and like my older brother, I have him preach it to people. Like Dead Fox, you've heard me countless times on rehearsals
Oh yeah,
say
no, dude.
this, and it's I tell every actor, believe that you are the best at what you do. Every single time you walk in that room, you guys should think that you are the best actor in the room. It's not out of ignorance, it's not out of arrogance, it's none of that. I want every single person that comes onto set. I want Dead Fox, I want Jordan, the crew guys, and then I want people like Daryl and Brooklyn, the actors, to come on set, and I want them to think that they are better than anybody else in this room at what they do, and the best that in the world at what they do, and the character that they're about to play. And so I try to have the same confidence in myself, and I carry it with my how I carry it with myself on rehearsals, on set, on the calls, and then I just try to preach and rub it off to all the other actors and crew members. And so essentially, what to answer your question is, yes, I completely thought that I could play the role. I thought nobody else in the world could play it as well as I could have, and that's just kind of the confidence that I want everybody, not just me, to have while filming, because it is something that is very intimate. I think my brother, he said this on a podcast this summer, and I really like that he said it. It's a very intimate thing to act, and it can really bring a lot out, and it's nerve-wracking. You're putting yourself on screen for people that know you, may not know you, to pretend to be something you're not, to walk in somebody else's shoes. So it's a very scary thing for people. And if you're not confident in yourself, then I think that's kind of what it shows. Like it'll show on screen. So I always say, if you're nervous, it's because you care. If you're scared, it's because you're not ready, right? And so if you're confident in yourself, that typically leads to you preparing, and then preparing and confidence will typically lead to you being nervous out of excitement, and not being scared when people are finally able to watch you. Sorry, again, I kind of extended there, but these are a lot of
no,
conversations.
that's okay.
That
That's
really
why we
like.
do this on a podcast, man.
That's why we're here, brother.
Yeah.
We're here just to give you as much time as possible to because these are questions where, like, I'm hoping to provide some people at home, or even just myself, because I'm a little bit younger than the people I surround myself, like Dead Fox and the other host Vody. So like I can learn from it. People at home can learn from it, especially if people are wanting to get into filmmaking. I think there's a lot that can be learned from people like you that have gone out and they've started making their path through for their career. So like if you want to go on as long as you want, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Start monologuing, Doss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dead Fox knows. Dead Fox knows. I'm not a man.
You're
To
not a
shy
man
away
of few
from
words
talking and
at all.
speaking my. Yeah,
At all.
I'm not, man. I definitely speak my mind. I was raised here in Utah, but if you came into my family, you would think that we're from back east, where
Mm.
they're all very loud, argumentative, and but to kind of go off and kind of continue what we're talking about, I think a lot of it kind of strays from me being a lover of sports. I grew up my whole life. If I wasn't outside, or if I wasn't inside watching movies and film, I was outside playing sports. And because of the sports factor of having to compete, and I competed at a decently high level in sports, and having to have that like confidence in yourself and competitive, I kind of feel like there's no different. So people that like get into film, and again, you don't got to be this way. You don't have to have like this kind of competitive and confident drive, but I think this is what will keep us always hungry, among other things, is kind of being competitive with yourself and always wanting to put out something that's better than the last thing, and also wanting to see improvement always. And I think that's another thing that kind of goes into what you're saying is about like, could I play that role? Because I think a lot of people, kind of like what you were saying about like how you wanted to do film and like you just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. A lot of people, it's not because of that. It's because they're too nervous, or they just don't have the confidence in themselves. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, you're not, I don't think you're ever going to do it the way that you fully want. So don't do it, right? Until you can find that confidence in yourself. I would suggest to kind of just wait it out, try to find it in either trying to do those short films like I did, like with the no budget, and then start kind of going bigger and bigger. But until then, I would just say you got to find confidence. If you don't have confidence, you're never going to put out a film, or whatever your endeavor is. You're never going to put out what you truly think your potential is. And so that's kind of what I was going to extend what your question was. Again, I'm talking a little more than I wanted to, but it's funny that you're bringing up a lot of things that I'm super passionate and speaking on. So that's a props to you as a host.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever actually prepared for an episode. That sounds horrible to say, but it sounds horrible to say, but this podcast has always very much been kind of start and pray. But today I wanted to actually ask you some legitimate questions than
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
rather than talking about whether you think aliens or godders are real. So so I noticed, like, as you're talking to me, like in the film Arenda, you guys have very like just thick Southern accents. I don't get much of that just talking to you. Was it hard to keep that like consistent throughout the entire filming, or did you have like just a lot of time to practice that accent and get it down?
So two things. Preparation helped me, obviously. We prepare very extensively for all our films. But dude, my whole life, I mean, I just fucked around growing up, dude, like with voices. So I'm really fucking good at doing voices. I can do, the British, I can do Boston, New Yorker, I can do the country Southern. For Three Left Turns, I have more of like a street accent. And then obviously my voice is what it is now, just a typical Utahn. But no, yeah, dude, it's just fucking around growing up is what made me super confident in being able to kind of play anything. And then just having the preparation that we do before filming allowed for me to be that super consistent throughout the film.
Right.
I think this is how we'll know if you truly have a Utah accent, or if the other ones have infected you. How do you say mountain?
Just like you did.
Okay, there it is. There it is. We got him, boys.
It was a weird day for me when I found out that people pronounce it mountain.
I've always said it mountain because I'm not from here.
Well, it's just because you're smarter than I am.
No, that's not, well.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Mountain, late end, yeah.
Yeah, no,
we're lazy, man.
Seriously, dude, it's seriously like when I was in high school, it like baffled me that so many people said it like that, and I felt weird because I was the only one that said it mountain.
I blame it on the altitude. It makes us
like
a little
robbed
crazy.
us of oxygen.
Yeah.
Robbed our brains of oxygen.
We're a little lazy, yeah.
I could have sworn people said it like that in Idaho too. So maybe like
I've heard that as well.
There, it's
my girlfriend, or not my girlfriend, my sister's boyfriend. Idaho guy, and says everything very similar to the way we say it. And he's only a couple hours away.
Gotta just be a mountain time thing. It's gotta be it.
Mountain.
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I gotta go to like a speech class. It's mountain.
Pronounce the T.
Late 10.
Oh man. This is another one where this kind of, I think a lot of people, when they hear me ask this question, they're gonna be like, why the hell, like What? But I am just super curious. Like, is there like a specific reason you guys shot it in 16:9 rather than like, how a lot of people crop it down to a 2.4:1? Is there a
Yeah.
reason you guys kept it in 16:9, or was that just to kind of just be like, we only have like 3 days, we gotta go?
So 16:9 is actually what a lot of festivals and stuff prefer.
Mm.
And so we just kept it that way. So
Oh,
short
okay.
answer. That's the short answer.
Really? So they don't like widescreen?
Typically, no. A lot of them said like the 16:9 um is what they would prefer to take, and so we were like, oh, because we actually were going to adjust. But after doing research and stuff, yeah, 16:9 is what they were asking for, so we just kept it that way.
That's interesting. Wow, I actually did not know that. I figured they would have been all for the the
Why?
widescreen 2.4,
Yeah,
panoramic
that's what
or
we were. That's funny. Dominic, our cinematographer and editor,
yeah.
that was something that we were going to change it to. But yeah, after doing further research and checking out all the festivals, this is what they asked of us, so we obliged.
Try to
Will
deliver.
will Three Left Turns be in 16:9 or will it be in widescreen?
It will be in whatever way I can't say, but whatever
Mm.
way certain people are wanting us to have it in.
Spoilers.
We tried. I tried to get it out of you.
Yeah, you sneaky snake, man.
He's a very tough man to get information from. I showed up to Orenda and had no idea what I was filming at all until the
Nope.
last day.
Yep, and everything clicked, and even then, he still didn't understand
I was
everything because
still
it wasn't
like,
in chronological order.
I was, because we shot like everything out of chronological order to the film, so I was like completely confused. I was thrown for a loop the entire time. Like I knew I had a basic grasp of what was going on, but I didn't figure it out until the very end. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, wow. I can see why you hid this from me the entire time.
I was thrown through a loop just watching it, so I can't imagine how you felt. I was just
Hey,
watching
I
it. I was
got a
like, "What
question
the
for you,
heck?"
man. I got
Yeah,
I got a question for you.
to it.
What's what do you think happens at the end of Arenda? Without saying too much, what do you
Oh,
think?
I'm actually the thing is I'm gonna go into spoilers later in the episode. It's gonna be like the last
Okay.
question, but to not go into spoilers and answer like what do I think happens, like I just have this feeling that it's gotta be a psychological thing. I think once we go into the spoiler section, we can bring
Okay.
this back up and I'll really kind of dig deep because like I went and rewatched it like multiple times today and I like sat there and like really thought about like I was like, what do I think is happening here? um so
That's what we want, man.
once we
That's
get
what we
into
wanted.
the spoiler questions, we can bring that back up and then I can bore you with my entire little
Your
theory.
monologue.
Dude. Yeah, so I can't wait to hear
Because it
And
was
it.
funny
And the
too.
reason I'm asking is because obviously that was a big intention is we wanted
mhm.
it's whatever the audience perceives the film as is how they perceive the ending. And
Mhm.
just the amount of vast difference of opinions on what the ending was and what everything the whole story is about is awesome. It's super cool to see,
Yeah.
and a lot of people that can go check it out on YouTube. If you just go look in the comment section, you can see a handful of different opinions.
Yeah, and it was crazy at the premiere too. I had people coming up to me. They were like, "Oh, so why did it end like that?" I thought it was going to be this, that, and the other thing, and then, people were like, "Oh, this is how I thought it was going to end, but this is how I think of it now." And I was like, "Wow, a lot of people have very different perspectives on what we created," and I was like, I was overwhelmed, and it was so cool to have all these different people that I had never met before, and just go like, yeah, I thought it was going to go totally different. You guys did an amazing job, and I was just like, wow, people really liked this. I got starstruck by the people there because I was like, just hearing all their different thoughts and opinions. It was just crazy to me that so many different people could have like not one of the theories was the same, and I had like 40 people come up to me and talk to me about it.
Wow. I think that's one thing that I really admire about your writing is it seems like you really set out there to make people think about what they watched, and I think that's there's something special about when you can watch a film and still be thinking about it a couple hours later. You know,
Yeah.
there's something just the fact that it can kind of invade your almost your life that way, you know, and just make you
Yeah,
think
dude.
you're like I'm gonna take up your day just from 30 minutes of watching. You know,
Yeah.
I can't imagine how much Three Left Turns is gonna take. I might need to dedicate a week. You know, so,
Well,
um,
I really like what you just said though, because again, dude, it's like you've met me before. Somebody at the screening, somebody that's known me since I was a little boy, said like the same thing too. They're like, I'm gonna need like a lot of time to digest what I just watched, and and it's somebody that like that they really didn't know I did this kind of stuff until later on, and they kind of showed up to the premiere really not knowing where I was in filming, and
Mhm.
so when they watched it, they were blown away. And so to kind of hear like them and then certain other people that are close to me that were kind of the same way that didn't really believe, they kind of were like and then
Mhm.
after watching Brenda they were like okay, like I started getting them to finally start kind of having interest or fully believing. But a lot of them, yeah, dude, were like holy cow, like I was thinking about it. And I actually had my buddy, his girlfriend apparently said that she was thinking about it like weeks later too, like,
Wow.
and they went back and watched it just because even though that they know me very well, and it's kind of weird watching somebody that you know, it's kind of weird just because you're, oh, I know who
Yeah.
they are from a personal level, but for them to keep going back and watching it because they're like like I just need to know more. I need to like catch things that maybe I'm missing. But anyways, that's a big thing why I love writing the way that I wrote, is because I hate going to the theater and you're kind of just like you watch it and you know exactly everything, right? And you're like, oh, that was good, or
Yeah.
like, oh, that wasn't very good. But like, I love going to the theater, like um, like Shutter Island or Inception
Of
or
course. Yeah.
Prisoners,
Inception was such a good
all those
movie, dude.
movies. Yeah, all those movies that end on something like that makes you think, like, did that did it stop spinning? Or like
Mhm.
Prisoners, did they actually did Jake Gyllenhaal actually hear his voice? Is
Mhm.
he actually going to go find Hugh Jackman? Like things like that where it makes you think. It's just something that I've always been like so interested in, and I probably owe a lot to it to my family because my family, they're they're film junkies, man. So again, if we weren't watching sports or outside playing sports, we like I was watching. I don't think this is a good thing, but my parents were having me watch like films that were like not what a 4-year-old maybe should be, 5-year-old should be
50
watching,
Shades
but
of
it
Grey.
really, yeah. No, I'm talking Hills Have Eyes,
Oh
like the
shit!
best
No.
Oh
Wow.
damn!
at like 5 and 6, like
Dude, I
they
didn't even
didn't
have
want
internet
me.
access till I was 13.
Oh,
Like,
that's
yeah. Yeah, man.
that's some
Yeah.
darkness, man, right there. I don't want to talk about
Yeah, man.
that.
I'm just saying, like, come on.
But no, man, I think due to them doing that, it opened my mind up at an early age where like a lot of the stuff once I got older, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. And so it kind of allowed me to want to like to watch films that made me think more because I had watched so many things that like were just so surface level that which there's nothing wrong with surface level movies, but I love movies that like, and this kind of Three Left Turns is a lot of this, but um, you could watch the film entirely surface level, or you could watch the film entirely looking for depth, and the depth story will tell you. So
That's nice.
those are the stories that I love, where there's a depth story that's getting told all throughout the film, and then there's a surface
Mhm.
level story that's getting told throughout the film,
It's kind
and
of like
those are the
Pixar.
films that yeah.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going
Yes,
for.
Toy Story. God fucking.
Yes.
Was it?
Jack Fox had my exact. You can see my face. That's the exact expression I did with the hand. Yeah, smacking my
Well,
forehead.
your movie about drug dealers and serial killers isn't made by Pixar?
No, yeah, no. It's. I mean, Disney wanted it, but yeah, they said it wasn't. It was too wholesome.
No,
So
imagine
Yeah.
we just changed the writing at the last second. It's Sid from Toy Story as one of the main
Yeah.
characters.
I remember they wanted to put Hostel on Disney Plus too, so it's like your films must be pretty dark. I wonder how many people actually know what Hostel is. If you're listening and you know what the movie Hostel is, let us know. Like Hostel is in like European hotel. Some people
Yeah.
haven't watched that one. I thought that whole thing. This is super off topic, but that whole thing, the fact that Quentin Tarantino endorsed that movie, is so odd to me. It's like a torture film, and
Yeah,
Quentin Tarantino's just like,
it was a bit bizarre when I because I saw it and then I saw that like all this stuff about Quentin Tarantino like producing and well not producing but like endorsing that and like yeah this is a great movie. I was like what?
yeah, that was super off topic, but just getting back. That my bad. I'm off my meds, but to get back into it, this is kind of a little bit more of a funny question, but I am genuinely curious because you guys are, acting. You're trying to kind of immerse yourselves in these characters, right? So there's a scene in Arenda where it's shot in like the forest. It's when you see the creature for the first time. It's dark, it's very dark actually. It's kind of like, did you ever? It's really creepy, the atmosphere. Did you ever like accidentally kind of psych yourself out and scare yourself a little bit, just kind of pretending to be terrified in the forest or in the dark? Did you ever kind of just be like, man, I kind of feel a little creeped out right now, just being out
That's funny
here?
that you say that, dude. Yeah, no, I personally didn't. When I walked away into the darkness to take a piss, yeah, it was a little like I feel like somebody's because we're out in the middle of nowhere in Utah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like watching aliens gonna come take me, and they're gonna still think I'm taking a piss, and yeah, no. As far as like actually being scared, no, I think having such like a I have like two sides of me. This sounds weird, but it's just what needs to be kind of done. And I say this with the guys, where it allows me to take things like I flip a switch fast. So like when I'm acting, I can flip a switch to directing really, really fast. And it's
Mm.
all like I call it's like a professional mode for me. It's like my go mode, right? It's my game time. And so as far as getting scared, no, I really wasn't thinking about that. I don't know. That's maybe a question Dead Fox could probably answer, or some other people. Were you ever like scared of the surroundings, Dead Fox?
Or like just a little creeped out.
So I am gonna be honest about this. I was off a little bit. I don't want to say like off, like I was out of it, right? But at the same time, like the way I perceive my surroundings when I'm somewhere that I don't know is a little bit different than a lot of people would, I guess is a good way to put it. So for those of you listening that don't know, I have a very complicated form of OCD that gives me a really strong connection to my thoughts. And it basically makes me hear voices and like see things that aren't there and shit. So it's like when we were filming Orenda, and specifically that scene that you were talking about, the one in the forest. Again, for those of you who don't know, I'm in that tree holding the light, like I'm like this in the tree.
I didn't know that.
I'm literally laying
That's
down
awesome.
on the branch holding the light out, right? And I'm scared. The two things I was scared of is somebody's gonna try to like prank me and make me fall out of the tree, or that I was gonna slip and fall out of the tree. But
Yeah.
with the like just perceiving my surroundings, I was a bit creeped out a little bit at first when we were like setting up the shot and it's like pitch black, there's nobody out there. I mean, you could hear a twig break like 100 feet the other way. It was so quiet when we were setting up, so it was a bit weird because when it's quiet for me, it's loud up here, but when it's loud, it's quiet. If you guys can kind of understand what I'm saying there. So it was a bit off to be able to hear everything is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really the only reason I was ever creeped out while we were doing Orenda.
I think I'd be creeped out because it's just like you're just out there convincing yourself that something's like after you.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like if you're sitting there convincing yourself that your life is in danger, maybe you might feel a little bit if you're not superhuman like Dawes here. So we're now going to get into kind of some spoiler questions. So for those of you at home, if you want to go watch Orenda spoiler free, go watch it and then come back, or skip ahead a few minutes, because we're going to cover some spoilers here. Because why not? It's been 8 months, guys. Like, are you kidding me? These people.
Go watch it.
In the scene where where you get shot. We're gonna get right into
Whoa, we're diving into this one.
in the scene where you get shot, how bad did that hurt? Getting shot.
Yeah, it was all instant. Didn't even feel it. It just immediately to the ground, brother. The next thing I know, I'm waking up and I'm completely fine at the end. So, yeah, getting shot was by a 22 from way far, maybe farther than the 22 can actually shoot. Yeah, so it was. No, I'm playing.
I guess.
But no, actually, to kind of go off of what you're saying, I can't not say this without Tyler knowing, because he would get so mad if I'm talking about this scene specifically and don't say it, because he brings it up every single time we talk about this scene.
Oh yeah.
But the gunshot was a fantastic job, Tyler. If you're listening, it was a fantastic. It sounded exactly like a real gunshot. Yeah, it was phenomenal, bud. It was awesome. We appreciate you.
just the sound design for the gunshot is what he's proud of.
He's just super proud of what he did. It really does sound like a real
and he sounds amazing.
He does deserve to be proud of that. I will give him that.
And the echo and everything he did with it, it was a good job.
With how well that sound, like with how good that sounded, I almost kind of thought you did actually do a shooting sound and recorded it with that, with a 20. Like I was just like, wow, that's it was very impressive. So good on you. You can be happy that we mentioned it. We'll have you on next.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely need Ty on. He's a riot.
Yeah.
He's a lot like me, man. He's not a man of few words, so he'll talk just as much as a lot of us are, except for Dom. Dom's the only one that doesn't talk.
Dom's the only one that doesn't really talk that much.
It's like pulling teeth just to get him to speak.
Well, I guess if you guys are enjoying this episode, then stay tuned for future episodes where we will interview everybody else and waste all of their time. We're going to specifically schedule the days of the podcasts for the filming days of Three Left Turns. But on a serious note, how hard was it playing dead while you're getting picked up, carried around, you're getting moved, touched? I feel like I would be twitching just because you're getting touched and you can't see what's touching you. You're getting picked up and moved. How hard was that to get down, to stay perfectly limp?
So, well, it helps when your brother's the one lifting you, so you have trust.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
But the other thing I would say, it wouldn't be hard it's not hard for the dead person. It's hard for Bastion, the one that was having to lift my limp ass. And so, so I would say, it wasn't very hard. It was just, you literally just had to be completely limp. You can't control any body part, nothing. Everything has to be completely just loose. And so I would say it's not very hard. The only thing that, you kind of said, would be trust. That he wouldn't drop me or something, because my eyes are closed and I'm fully limp. If he were to drop me, I would fall, and if I hit a rock or something, so you could get hurt. But no, I trusted my brother entirely, and he wasn't lifting me for long periods of time, so I wasn't too concerned with him fatiguing out or nothing. But I would say it was much harder for him.
I think the main thing that or at least I would have kind of messed up, that if I was having to play dead, is when he puts you on the couch and is getting on top of you and all that stuff. I think I would have gotten startled by hitting the couch and just ruined the scene. But that's why I'm not an actor. So
I was gonna say we had a good laugh after the first couple takes of that scene.
And then there's a noticeable color grade change after Tommy dies. Is there is there a deeper meaning to that, or am I just reading too much into it?
No, dude. I appreciate you. That is something we did intentionally, and that's something that I really like doing in my films, is having the whatever way the film is going. I really appreciate having the color match the mood. I hate when it's really a sad moment in a film, but yet it's bright as shit and warm, and it feels like you should be. I love the films that play with color, and somebody that I really like and look up to as a director Kubrick, he always played with like set coloring, and I don't play with set coloring. I play with obviously like coloring of the film itself. But yeah, that's something we did intentionally. After his death, I wanted to show how cold and lonely and empty the world was like without his brother. And so that's where we kind of got that blues. And then all those shots that we got, like the swing set, and then the little B-roll shots that we had of hit the home. And yeah, we just wanted to make it feel as cold and dark as it could possibly feel.
It can almost be like interpreted as like just a very significant just mental change for his for that character as well. For I think his name is, I'm sorry, I need to remember what that character's name is. I
Michael,
wrote it, Michael. Yeah, I'm sorry, I
you're
wrote it
good.
down
You're
somewhere.
good.
But I feel like it's almost like that. It marks a very significant mental health kind of shift for him as well. Because I mean, he's already struggling with. You guys talk about how your parents passed away in the film, right? It's just you two, at least I
Yeah,
think, unless if I.
yeah,
Uh,
that's
but
great.
so he's already kind of angry that he's having to take on taking care of his younger brother, but at the same time, I think after his death, he realizes he's just like, wasn't really that mad, I was like, I didn't hate him, and
Yeah,
I that's why I almost think like this is kind of where I'm going to get into my theory that you asked me earlier. I think that what is seen in the first half of the film before the color grade change, I think like what's seen in the forest is real. I think after Tommy's death, I think guilt and for the fact that he didn't believe him, and guilt for all of that other, like for just in total, kind of drove him to kind of imagine things happening when like his brother, like Tommy actually saw something, but his older brother is just so like distraught with guilt and just like pain that he almost is kind of creating uh his own version of what his younger brother saw. um
okay, that's
it
interesting. Yeah,
and then I
that's
think
something that
just
I haven't heard.
I was gonna
I
say
think just
I
that
hadn't heard that one either.
the only reason I think that is just because like just it would make sense, at least where like I kind of thought of it was like if my brother came to me and he was telling me, he's like, I saw this thing in the wood, and like it started this like whole big argument, and like I said something like really mean and horrible, and then he died, I would feel so guilty just for not believing him and not preventing that argument, that I think it would drive me insane, so it kind of makes you wonder. But obviously you're the writer, so but
Yeah, no, and what I will always be on. I will always be on record saying this. I will never say what I actually thought the film and intended the film to be in my eyes, because I don't ever want that kind of wholesome viewing that everybody has when they watch it to
Mhm.
have like their true honest opinion on it. Because if I tell people what I intended it to be, it kind of tarnishes, because
Yeah.
all they'll think about is just what I said. They won't actually think about whatever their mind is actually coming up with. And so something that you said I really like is, I haven't heard, is how his brother did see something. However, it sounds like you don't think he saw what Michael's seeing. Michael's coming up with this figure that is haunting him in his head and
Well,
everything.
Michael's
I
is
really,
like his human, when what Tommy saw was very, like, it was like tree sized, wasn't it? It's huge.
yeah, it did grow. It ended up growing to, I don't know, it was like 10, 12 feet.
It was something like that. I didn't measure it.
Yeah,
Yeah, let me hold
that's
on. Let me.
you're supposed to be prepared, man.
Oh,
You're
I'm
supposed to be
sorry.
prepared.
I should have
It
known
was
the
it was 10 feet 8 inches.
32 millimeter, whatever. No, but yeah, like I think that theory is just kind of like, um, just kind of I thought it was fun. I do kind of enjoy the fact that you won't say how you interpret it, because it's almost, while I was gonna ask that today, I think the reason why you said that you don't makes so much sense because it's almost like by you saying it, you speak the true plot into existence.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
almost like you establish the correct plane of events, which so
Yeah,
I
it's kind of
applaud
like
you
the
for
teacher
not.
giving the right answer. And so it's like all these kids can come up with their own theory on what they think, but then once the teacher says what it actually is, then everybody can't not think what it actually is. So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Honestly, I had a lot of fun watching Arenda. I just for that reason, it's fun to just be able to sit down and kind of interpret story personally. And I think if you guys at home haven't seen it, go on YouTube, watch it. It's Orenda, the short film, Orenda. If you can't spell that, then
Yeah.
sound it out.
And don't click on the
Um,
ASMR YouTuber that pops up at first.
Yeah.
yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that's funny. I heard about that. That we have some video that's similar.
Yeah, so
Like it's an
there's
Orenda.
so we type in Orenda and the first result is this ASMR YouTuber, and then like we're like fourth result down.
If you search
like,
up Orenda short film, then you
we're the
guys
first
is
result. But
first.
if you just type in Orenda, you're gonna see some ASMR YouTuber before us.
Which sounds
Yeah.
sounds like you guys. I expect an ASMR segment in 3 Left Turns.
Yeah, that's actually what the whole film's about. Dang it! You just,
Fuck.
I spoiled
it's
it?
about
Yeah.
three people just whispering into the microphone.
So they
And
made
then walking in circles in the left.
And then after the third person talks, it cuts black in the credits. Yeah, so roll
in the
credits.
credits room. Man, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Speaking of that though, I think I know Orenda is kind of your old project, but that interested me today. But that's enough of my Orenda questions. Is there anything? Because I honestly, there's not a lot that anybody really knows about 3 Left Turns or gets to know. Is there just in general? What can you talk about? What are you wanting to talk about? And maybe, just maybe, is there anything that you can unveil here first, for an inside scoop for the listeners so that they can feel privileged?
So I gotta go. No, I'm just just hang up.
Obviously, you don't have to, but
Yeah, no. So the biggest thing I want to talk about is first off the preparation and everything that, not just myself, but everybody. I want to give them all their flowers. I want to talk about kind of what the filming process, the 10-day shoot will be looking like, and then I'll give a little bit more. But yeah, ultimately, pretty much what's out there is what's out there. I'll give a little bit more, but yeah, we can't say too much or else a lot of things that we have planned in the future also will be
ruined.
will be ruined.
We gotta build the hype train.
And
You gotta keep it going.
I'm excited, and if you guys are just excited as I am, go follow them. It's at Marlon Dean Productions on Instagram, correct?
Yep. Yeah,
you can go
Marlon
follow
Dean.
them there, and then and keep up to date with it. Well, thank you. I mean, I think that's probably it. We'll have to say there. Is there anything else that you wanna say to the people at home? Anything else you wanna like plug or anything like that?
Yeah, no. Again, guys, go check the link out, Kickstarter link for Three Left Turns. You can find it at our website or our social media. We've been putting in a crap ton of work. We've been rehearsing since September for this, and there's a lot of people that they haven't gotten recognized yet, and they will. We have a bunch of talent that you guys don't know their names, but you will soon. And I'm talking about Daryl Denby, Brooklyn Bott, TK. The list goes on for all the actors and actresses that will be in this, and also for the crew. We have an outstanding team we built around this project specifically, and we just can't wait to show you guys all what we've been working months for already. It's just something that we're all so passionate for, and I'm telling you, man, the amount of talent that's in this film is just I'm very very excited to see their family and their friends at the premiere, and hopefully you as the listeners go and see your guys' facial expressions at the premiere. And I mean, yeah, just see everything that you guys will be going through from the emotion to the excitement, the sadness to everything. And that's about all I can say, but I'm just so proud of the team that we've built, and just can't wait for everybody to get their flowers.
That's awesome. Honestly, I'd say my last question before leaving it off is more of a confirmation. I've been pestering Dead Fox the last few episodes, every single episode, asking if I can get a little teeny tiny part as a joke in the film.
And
Has that been?
He's the
Is
one
this
I
his
told
first
you
time
about.
hearing this?
No, I've told him about this at least once.
Okay. Can
Yes.
people at home expect to see me maybe buying, selling, or killing people?
Buying drugs, yeah, sure. We can get you buying some drugs in the film. No, but seriously, yeah, I got a part for you, man. We'll speak more after this is done recording. I'll speak to you more on it.
I'm gonna go become a method actor. I'm gonna go start doing hardcore heroin. I'll see you guys soon.
That's all the time we have.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate
thanks
you
for
taking
having
up
me,
your
man.
time. Thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please be sure to follow everybody that's in here, including Marlon Dean Productions. Watch Arenda, follow the Spotify, follow or subscribe to the YouTube, like, comment, do whatever. Share this podcast with a friend, with a family member. Maybe your dad likes podcasts and he would like to listen to a bunch of young people talk about short films. You never know. But let's build this community together. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day, week, month, and year. Catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.